Happy 2021, everyone. Catherine Koiser with Keller Williams here, bringing you the second of my two-part look at what homeowners, sellers, and buyers can expect in the Portland metro real estate market this year. As topics go, economic research and forecasts may not thrill you, but on the other hand, a house is usually the single largest purchase and the single largest asset in anyone's life. So making the most of that investment is part and parcel of finding your happy place. My goal with this video is to offer practical takeaways while keeping the realtor wonk factor to a minimum. To recap, I shared these general insights in part 1. They're a good start, but as I pointed out in episode 5, averages and generalizations can be misleading. In other words, it's useful to look at how specific segments of the market have performed in the past as a basis for predicting their future performance. Price range is an important way to go about that. A second way to study and segment the market is by the 3 property types: single-family detached homes, attached townhouses, and condos. My plan is to revisit takeaways for homeowners, sellers, and buyers and add more meat and specificity to them using these 2 types of segmentation. I'll also identify some of the very best opportunities in the Portland metro market. Any homeowner can feel good about the data in this table. It shows handsome 5-year gains in home values and therefore equity across all 3 property types. At the same time, the last column shows that the rate of appreciation has slowed down, a natural and healthy development in market cycles. The other key takeaway is that detached homes have appreciated faster than townhouses and condos, with the gap widening in the past 3 years. On average, condos have gained over 26% in value in 5 years, or about 63% as much as detached homes, which have risen by 41%. But in 3 years, condos have gained a disappointing 3.4%, only about 18% as much as detached homes, which have risen by 17.1%. Now let's add segmentation by price range to segmentation by property type. If you made a list of all homes for sale in the metro area from the highest to the lowest priced, and then divided the list into 4 equal segments, each segment accounting for 25% of all sales, you'd have the 4 price tiers in this table. The third column shows typical features of homes in a given tier, including number of bedrooms and bathrooms, total square footage, and average age. Shown in the second column, the median tier price is the home price in the middle of the pack, with an equal number of homes priced above and below it. The median price for the top tier is just under $1.3 million, $790,000 for the second tier, and so on. The takeaway? 3-year equity gains have varied substantially across segments, ranging from very good for all tiers of detached homes to just average or below average for all except the top tier of townhouses and condos. 3% is about average for an annual price gain, by the way. Looking ahead, or in other words, to the last column, I predict appreciation will continue to slow down gradually, meaning very good gains for all tiers of detached homes and below average gains, in other words, less than 3%, for all except the top tier of townhouses and condos. That's why I've revised the heading of this slide to read above average growth in your equity and if you're in a detached house or a luxury townhouse or condo, as shown in the bold red italics. Now we're ready to move on to sellers. You've seen both these tables before, but I've made a few additions and subtractions. The last 2 columns of the top table are new. They show that detached and attached homes sell about 10 days faster on average than condos, and about 2 percentage points closer to list price. New to the bottom table is the last column. The Market Action Index is a measure of the relationship between supply and demand. A value above 30 means demand is robust and the market favors sellers. Below 30 means weaker demand and buyers have the upper hand. You can see that we have a seller's market across all price and property type segments in the metro area, since the lowest value in the column is 30. But there are wide variations in how much demand exceeds supply, with index values ranging as high as 95. In general, demand is stronger for detached homes than for condos and townhouses, And within the detached home category, demand is much higher for the bottom half of homes by price than for the top half. In fact, the third and fourth tiers of detached homes can be described as super seller market segments, with lots of buyers jostling for a limited supply. What are the key takeaways from these tables for sellers? The bottom half of detached homes by price have the best chance of selling quickly at or near list price. That's why I've added a sentence in bold red italics to the heading of this slide. Owners of detached homes priced around $600,000 or less could reasonably expect to sell within 5 weeks for 98% of list price. If your home falls outside these two segments, a good realtor can serve up statistics about average performance in your particular market segment. Last but not least, let's revisit takeaways for buyers using segmentation by property type and price range. It's important to recognize that most sellers are also buyers. In other words, they buy a replacement home after selling their current home. Let's call this group replacement home buyers to distinguish them from first-time home buyers who rent their current homes. Within the replacement home buyer group, you have move-up buyers who are moving to a larger house in a higher price range, and downsizers, typically empty nesters or seniors, who are moving to a smaller house in a lower price range. By now, it's a truism to say that first-time home buyers face an especially tough time in the metro market. Rising rents and student loan debt make it difficult to save for a down payment. Meantime, home price gains have far outpaced gains in income, and there are a dearth of starter homes available on the market. A first-time home buyer would likely be in the market for a fourth-tier detached home or a third or fourth-tier condo or townhouse. Imagine that real per capita income in Portland has risen just 7.8% over the past 3 years, about one-third the appreciation rate for fourth-tier detached homes. So breaking into that market segment is an especially heavy financial lift. Though it may be a truism to say that Portland is a challenging place for first-time buyers, what's less obvious is this. Third and fourth-tier townhouses and condos are a much friendlier market segment for them than detached homes, not only because median prices are anywhere from $35,000 to $150,000 less, but also because their money will go further given the very different rates of appreciation in these segments over the past 3 years. In addition, because buyers face less competition in these segments, as shown in the Market Action Index column of the bottom table, they'll have more time to make a big life decision and more bargaining power where the final sale price is concerned. As shown in the last two columns of the top table, condo sales are slower and sale-to-list price ratios for both townhouses and condos are lower than for detached homes. Now let's consider move-up and downsizing buyers. If you scan rows in the bottom table, you'll see that there's just one place where moving up a row entails a drop in home price gains, moving from the third tier of detached homes to the second tier. So that's the very best opportunity in the market for move-up buyers, allowing them to, in effect, sell comparatively high and buy comparatively low where appreciation or growth in equity is concerned. Furthermore, because they face less competition in the second tier, which has a market action index value of 56 versus 81 in the second tier, they're likely to have more negotiating power where sale to list price is concerned, both in selling their current home and in buying a new home, compared to move-up buyers in other tiers or segments. As for downsizing buyers, let's focus for a moment on typical features across tiers. As a practical matter, it's very unlikely that an empty nester or senior would be motivated to move from a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom home to a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, or from a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home to a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. Though moving across the corresponding tiers offers the advantage of getting more for your money where appreciation rates are concerned. The differences in size across the first and second, or the third and fourth tiers, are just not significant enough to justify a move, especially since a homeowner's maintenance burden would not be much reduced by moving from one detached home to another. Of course, there's no question that many downsizing buyers are motivated to move from somewhere in the upper half of detached price tiers to the lower half, especially if the move entails going from 2 or 3 levels to an age-in-place friendly 1 level. My point is simply this: the very best opportunities for downsizing buyers is moving from any of the 4 detached tiers to any of the bottom 3 tiers for townhouses and condos. In addition to paying much less for their replacement home than they will get for their current home, their housing dollar will go much further given the much lower appreciation rates for condos and townhouses. This is an important point given that seniors' real incomes are often fixed in retirement. In addition, they'll have more time to make a big life decision and more negotiating power where sale-to-list price is concerned, since demand and competition in these market segments are low compared to first and second-tier detached homes. Whew! Are you still with me? I hope your patience will extend to one more simple slide summarizing the takeaways for buyers, and the whole video, in fact. As we've seen, third and fourth tier condos and townhouses offer the best opportunities to first-time home buyers. Moving from the third to the second tier of detached homes offers the best opportunities to move-up buyers. And downsizing buyers will see the best opportunities in moving from any tier of detached home to the second to fourth tiers of townhouses and condos. A lot to take in, I'll grant you. Don't hesitate to reach out with questions, either in the comments section or by phone or email. See you next time.